Now, ever since announcing his run for president, Donald Trump has refused to make his tax returns public. Despite not being legally obliged to do so, for decades it's been convention that presidential hopefuls are transparent on their earnings and how much of that goes back into the public purse. But Donald Trump's fight for privacy has now run out, with the US House committee ruling to release details of the former president's filings from 2015 to 2021, the years when he was running for president and serving in the White House. Our North America correspondent Peter Bowes has more now on the significance of this decision. Peter, why might we see these tax results?
It could still be several days before we get to see these documents. There is a process of redaction taking place, and that is essentially the blacking out of certain lines that contain sensitive, confidential information relating to Mr. Trump. But then the documents will be made public for everyone to see. Of course, hugely anticipated, really, ever since 2016, when Donald Trump stood for the presidency for the first time and refused to release his tax returns, and ever since then, to the point of going to the Supreme Court with a legal challenge to try to keep them private. That failed, and now he has lost that battle. So it remains to be seen, probably in the next couple of days, exactly what those documents contain.
And Peter, what's the reaction been in the US to this news?
Well, we've had a response from a spokesperson for Donald Trump, who has described this looming release of the documents as an unprecedented leak, saying that the Democrats, in this person's view, are playing politics. Now, the Republicans on the committee have always opposed the public release of Donald Trump's tax returns, saying that it sets an unwelcome precedent for the future. Kevin Brady is the senior Republican on the committee.
So, regrettably, the deed is done. Over our objections in opposition, Democrats on the Ways and Means Committee have unleashed a dangerous new political weapon that overturns decades of privacy protections for average taxpayers. The era of political targeting and of Congress's enemies list is back.
So that's the Republican view. The Democrats say it is in the public interest for these tax returns to be made public, and they also say it's part of improving auditing procedures for the Internal Revenue Service, which is essentially why this committee was set up in the first place, to look at how presidential candidates are scrutinised in terms of their tax affairs.
Peter, as we know, Donald Trump has already announced his intention to run again for presidency in 2024. How might this decision about his taxes impact on that?
That is a big question, and perhaps the most crucial, because, as you say, Donald Trump is hoping to return to the White House, and what remains to be seen is, well, what the documents show us. A lot of people looking to see if it reveals any information about Mr. Trump's wealth, if it reveals anything interesting about his financial dealings, perhaps overseas, Russia in particular, or any methods, and this term creative accounting has been used several times, what methods he and his accountants have used to pay as little tax as possible. All will be revealed eventually, and in terms of the political consequences, I think it's ultimately going to depend on how Americans react to what they see and hear about how Donald Trump has operated over the last few years, and whether that is going to influence them in terms of whether he should be in the White House again.
OK, Peter Bowes, our correspondent on the US West Coast, thank you very much.